Hey everybody, Brian Engelman here with The New American Media. 6 years ago, I started The New American Media because I could sense a trend that was happening with news, with reporting, with information. The internet, let's just go back for a second. Excuse me. ARPA, the Advanced Research Projects Agency, later DARPA, the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, created the internet. Al Gore claimed to have created the internet during his time in the United States Congress. Um, but this was in the some people say this was reverse engineered from UFO technology from whatever happened in Roswell. I don't know. Maybe it's interesting. I'll dig into it. I'll look into it. Not really sure, but somewhere around the 50s, 60s, that this all started. All of this computer technology really started taking off exponentially. Um, then in the Bill Clinton administration, like 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 2000, right before September 11th. You know, I'm just trying to, just close your eyes for a second. Paint the picture of when the internet became omnipresent, when it became important, when it became crucial, when it became the only way to do business. The dot-com bubble, all these companies springing up overnight. What we have now is the culmination of what's been happening since, like I said, roughly about halfway through the Clinton administration, maybe toward the end of the Clinton administration. News as we know it, it's done. I went to college in a time when I wrote for the school newspaper. I was a photographer for the newspaper. I wrote for my school newspaper. That was when people used to pick up pieces of paper and read them. It seems a little far-fetched now, but that's the way things used to be done. What we have now is a vastly different scenario where you pull out your phone and you scroll. You just swipe and clickety-clack, and you got access to everything you need like that. What CNN just did, blackmailing a kid because they didn't like that he sent out a picture, a video with the CNN logo superimposed over the face of somebody that President Donald Trump was wrestling. Yes, just like Governor Jesse Ventura, who a lot of people wanted to run for president, we actually have a professional wrestler as a president. Yeah, go figure. It happened. Okay, no, he did a couple of things. He's not really a pro wrestler, but he's a showman. He's an entertainer. That's what this is. CNN didn't like it, so then they started blackmailing. They tracked down the Reddit user who sent out the image, the joke. It was a joke. It was freaking funny. He's an entertainer. He's a wrestler. And he gives a body slam or whatever, a choke slam, a clothesline, whatever you want to call it, to the other person with a CNN logo on it. They want to piss and moan and cry, oh, you're threatening our journalists. No. And we are sick of all of your scare tactics, all of your bully tactics, all of your nonsense. Sick of it. It reminded me, this action is called doxing. When you dox somebody or you're doxing somebody, you reveal all their information, and it's a dog whistle. It's something intended to stir up the angry, violent mobs, the George Soros-funded lunatics, the Antifa crowd to go do damage. That's what you're doing. That's really what you're doing, and you know it. Those are your goons, paid goons, hired goons. A little bit of muscle. Make him an offer he can't refuse, right? You get this apology out of this kid for sending out a hilarious message that was later retweeted by the president. And then you put this disclaimer at the bottom that you have all of his information, but you're not going to release it as long as he doesn't act up again, as long as he doesn't... You got to be kidding me. So the internet, God bless you. God bless you, internet. The amount of memes that are floating around now with CNN's logo just getting smacked and pummeled around, and Street Fighter clips and epic fail clips, and it's hilarious. Oh, check out our Facebook feed, facebook.com/TheNewAmericanMedia. Just scroll through. Just scroll down. You'll see some gems, some wonderful things. But it reminds me, I'm thinking back to media is so used to controlling the narrative. They're so used to having the final opinion, the final say so on what is truth. Well, they've been busted so many times. They legitimately are fake news. It's hilarious. When I started the New American Media 6 years ago, I had no idea where we'd be headed, but I could tell the writing on the wall, having been in journalism for a long time, made some mistakes, written some things I would have rather went back and changed a little bit. Some things that held up really well and some things that didn't really hold up well. But that's the course of everything. Find a musician that loves every song they wrote. No, not so much. But I was noticing the trend. I was noticing the pattern that people were opting out. They were tuning into Coast to Coast AM. They were finding alternative news in different places. They're going to InfoWars. They're going to Breitbart. And then now in the 2010s, the Obama administration, especially, and into the Trump administration, it's over. It's a game changer. It's done. You're not going to get things back the way that they used to be. That genie's not getting back into the bottle. Pandora is not going inside of the box again. It's just not going to happen. But it reminded me of a few years ago when Spike Lee, actor, director, well, mostly director, he doxed what he thought was George Zimmerman. Remember the guy that was involved in the Trayvon Martin case? Some say he hunted an innocent black teen. Others say there were a lot of robberies in the neighborhood. He was serving on a neighborhood watch, and we don't know what happened between this point and this point. It's a little vague, it's a little fuzzy, but somewhere in between here, you have witnesses seeing Trayvon Martin grounding and pounding his skull into the concrete, which will kill a man, by the way. And he, a concealed carry permit holder, I think the Second Amendment applies to us. You don't need a permit for First Amendment, do you? Why do you need one for the Second? Obviously, some basics, some rules, and some general safety stuff is important. I definitely agree with that. Just like in automotive, having a driver's license, it's nice to be licensed. I understand that, but I think it's every American's God-given right that we have the ability to defend ourselves. So the story that was told was that George Zimmerman saw something suspicious. This guy was cutting back behind people's yards in a hoodie in the rain. It was just something to keep an eye on. So he was checking out what was going on, called 911. They said, or the police dispatch. He said, "Don't bother, don't come over here, back off." He's got every right to see what's going on in his neighborhood. Looking at somebody's not illegal. And the story goes that he turned the corner and out from the bushes jumped Trayvon Martin, who was, I forget the height, 6 foot, I don't know. He was definitely not the 8th grade kid from that football picture that the media lied to you and just showed you, oh, look, he attacked this little boy. It wasn't a little boy. This was a large young man. And the report was he was jumped. And he was getting his ass kicked within an inch of his life. Smashing somebody's head, trying to crack it open like a cantaloupe on the concrete, that'll do it to you. Anyway, I'm just trying to, I really don't want to rehash it. I've said what I had to say on it. You can go find the archives. And I tried to take my time on that case. I didn't really rush to judgment one way or the other. Although I did find it interesting when George Zimmerman was referred to as a white Hispanic. It was a very interesting media term that was basically concocted to try to further push this fake narrative that whites are hunting blacks in America in 2017, 2016, 2015, 2014, 2013, 2012, whatever year it was exactly. But for years, the media has been pushing this, CNN at the forefront. But anyway, back to the doxing somebody. Spike Lee tweeted out what he thought was George Zimmerman's address. Therese said here, Donald Trump tweeted out what this one person sent out, which was a hilarious meme of choke slamming or body slamming a logo of CNN. It was a joke. It's hilarious. Funny. I tweeted out. I had no idea CNN was going to try to cry wolf like they're being tormented and abused by this when they've been doing nothing but tormenting and abusing people and manipulating the truth since their inception. The only difference is we can catch you now. we can document it, we can record it, and we can point it out, and we can call you out on your nonsense. That's probably the part that you don't like. But anyway, Spike Lee doxed George Zimmerman. I believe it was a 90-year-old couple. They're both in their 80s or 90s, elderly couple in Florida. Death threats and fireworks and bricks being thrown at their house and vandalism. Days and days of this stuff because you put out the dog whistle to attack. You were saying, hey, here's a guy that was hunting people. We need to go get him. Lynch mob, let's go get him. That's what you were doing, Spike Lee. That's what you've been doing, CNN, with all this race-baiting crap for how many years now? And so it just reminds me, when you're doxing somebody or you're threatening to dox somebody, when you're threatening this stuff, when you're trying to blackmail people, you know what? The other side gets a say in this process. The other side, and I'm not in this. I'm not the person that tweeted it out. I don't work at CNN. I don't necessarily have a dog in the fight, except to say that the new American media isn't tolerating this crap. And 6 years ago, like I said, I noticed the trend, and I knew that people were going to start tuning out to the fake news. Didn't have that name at the time, but we all knew it. We all knew we were getting lied to on countless fronts about countless stories, over and over and over and over again. The internet is our most important tool that we have. It's the most important thing that we have in the fight for freedom, in the fight for liberty, in the fight for truth, in the fight for justice. No, this isn't a Superman movie, but it's getting ridiculously close to it. But the point is, we are the journalists that we've been waiting for. We have a responsibility. For example, in one, really, just follow our Facebook feed, facebook.com/TheNewAmericanMedia. There's so much great stuff happening. There's so many good conversations. But somebody tweeted, I'm sorry, not tweeted, but someone shared on Facebook, this is the list of CNN sponsors. You know, they YouTube went after anybody that was discussing Seth Rich, Hillary Clinton, was being critical during this election cycle, and demonetized all of it. They call it the adpocalypse. YouTube took away all of the independent media's ability to earn a living by saying the content is not user-friendly. Why is it not user-friendly or advertiser-friendly? Why is it not advertiser-friendly? Because it doesn't fit their narrative. If that's not blackmailing, I don't know what is. This stuff is happening on all fronts. So this person does a lot of good work. Shared, this is the list. That they came after us independent journalists when this stuff was going on. During, covering Seth Rich, look what they're doing to Hannity. Look what's happening if you're digging into stories that they don't want you to hear about. Even though Podesta said, former Clinton campaign manager, was talking about you need to make an example out of whistleblowers right before Seth Rich is killed in a robbery, but nobody took anything. Turns out he was the staffer, allegedly, that leaked all the information regarding the Podesta emails to WikiLeaks. Make an example out of him. I wonder what happened. So the people that are digging into stories like this now can't have advertisements playing on their videos on YouTube. So people like me said, oh, well, that's great. Well, I was starting to transition into a full-time career doing this, but now the mathematics doesn't really work out. If that's not blackmail, I don't know what is. That's your nudge. That's your Cass Sunstein nudge. Limiting, what is that, the Overton window? Limiting the range of thought you're allowed to have. No, you can't have this. It must be here. It must be here. And you'll move it. You'll move the goalposts depending on who. Obama got a free pass for 8 freaking years. 8 years got a free pass. In this, it's been Russia this, Russia that, the big nothing burger like CNN's Van Jones was saying with the James O'Keefe video last week. It's brilliant. When I started the New American Media, I had no idea that CNN was going to be taking cyanide pills like this. I had no idea that they were going to be playing Russian roulette so much. They're addicted to it. Click, spin. Click, spin. Click. They can't wait to become irrelevant. They can't wait to completely lose their audience. It's happening. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. It's sad. It's sad, but I mean, what would you expect? What else do you expect? They've had it too good for too long. They've been lying to you for too long, and the jig is up, which is beautiful. So anyhow, if you want to support good independent journalists, good independent media, we've done 6 years of content. Hopefully some of that stuff is valuable to you. Go on patreon.com, patreon.com/TheNewAmericanMedia. Go to youtube.com/TheNewAmericanMedia. Click subscribe. Let the ads play. If they'll let the ads play at this point anymore, anything that covers politics gets flagged. Well, anything from CNN or Fox News or MSNBC, oh yeah, that's fine, because they're playing by the rules. So for people like me, when you say red tie, blue tie, Republican, Democrat, left wing, right wing, they're both wings of the same dirty bird, and they're all in on it together. You see Mitch McConnell and Nancy Pelosi, and go down the list. It's like, you guys are running your agenda regardless of who the figurehead is at the top of this totem pole. This is bad. But there's a lot of people out there that are seeing right through it right now. So we're asking you to link up on all of our social media sites. The other two are twitter.com/TheNewAmericanMedia, or we're at American_media_. Sorry, had to rethink that. On Twitter at American_media_, and Instagram.com/TheNewAmericanMedia. Join us. Leave some comments. Share it to your friends. Invite your friends. And participate in our mostly civil conversation while we seek truth, challenge dogma, and have fun. So signing out for now. I'm sure it's going to get more interesting by tomorrow, and we'll talk with you again then. Appreciate your time. Take care.